Having restrained and pinned Fire Lord Ozai to the ground, Aang in Avatar state was about to finish him off with the four-element strike, when he suddenly undoes his bending and cancels his Avatar state. He explains how he doesn't want to end it this way, with him taking another person's life. Criticizing Aang's decision, Ozai refuses to give up and sneaks an attack, but Aang sees through his plan. He misdirects Ozai's fire and binds his hands in rock slabs. He forces him to kneel on the ground, placing his thumbs on his forehead. He is later reminded what the lion turtle showed him and decided to use energy bending. As their two energies clash against each other, the lion turtle warns him that should his energy prove to be weaker, his opponent will corrupt and destroy him.
Your own spirit must be unbendable, or you will be corrupted.
Ozai's energy almost consumed him when Aang held on strong and eventually overcame him, taking away his fire bending forever. Without Ozai's bending, Aang wins the match with an overwhelming victory. Now let's look back at the events that led to this magnificent battle. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony, but everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them, but he vanished when the world needed him the most. 100 years passed and the Fire Nation nearly won the war when suddenly, Katara and Sokka found the Avatar, an airbender named Aang, trapped in ice. With Sozin's Comet amplifying its powers, the Fire Nation intends to end the war. It now falls on Aang, recently awakened from a deep sleep, to defeat Fire Lord Ozai and save the world. Aang was born an air nomad and was later named Avatar, succeeding Avatar Roku. He was taken in by the monks in the Southern Air Temple to be trained for what he was destined to become. Even as a child, Aang was exceptionally skilled, excelling at airbending. Despite the heavy burden on his shoulders, Aang remained kind and quite the goofy kid at heart. As a natural pacifist, Aang preferred to solve problems non-violently. He often holds back when fighting, becoming defensive rather than defeating his opponents. Despite his adventurous personality, Aang can usually become stubborn, like when he adamantly refuses to learn firebending, which can cause him to become extremely conflicted. Before his destined battle with the Fire Lord Ozai, Aang comes across the mythical lion turtle, from which he learns energy bending. He is warned that in this state, one needs to have a strong spirit to overcome his opponent's energy, or he will become corrupted and destroyed in the process. By channeling into a person's life energy, Aang could use energy bending to take away a person's bending. Aang can also tap into his past lives to seek guidance in Avatar state. In the Avatar state, Aang becomes immeasurably powerful and proficient in all four elements. Aang was also shown to have the natural predisposition to becoming a medium, a bridge that connects the spirit world to the mortal world. He communicated with the spirits in this state, as when he combined with the Ocean Spirit to defeat the Fire Nation, which attacked the North Pole. Ozai is the tyrannical Fire Lord of the Fire Nation, the second son of Azulon and the younger brother of Iroh. He is depicted as bloodthirsty, ruthless, narcissistic, and quick to temper, as shown when he burns his son's face, Zuko, as punishment for losing in Agni Kai, a brutal duel between firebenders. He aims to conquer and rule all four nations as the revered Phoenix King. His ambitions mostly strained his relationships with his children, his wife, and even his own brother. It doesn't come as a shock that Ozai is extremely skilled as a firebender, arguably the most powerful bender of his time, to which even the skilled Iroh doesn't stand a chance against him. He uses his rage to fuel his firebending, optimizing its destructive force. Under the effects of Sozin's Comet, Ozai becomes extremely powerful and can single-handedly defeat an entire army or overwhelm a nation by himself. He can produce high-heat explosions powerful enough to shatter stone or quickly propel him through the air for extended periods. At the peak of his abilities, Ozai could fight on equal grounds with Aang, who could use all four elements. He is also revealed to use lightning like his daughter Azula, but deadlier, and at an even larger scale. Fire Lord Ozai leads his army of airships intent on using Sozin's Comet to wipe out the entire Earth Kingdom. With the Fire Nation's airships over the horizon, Aang prepares to take them head-on by himself. With Sokka, Toph, and Suki's help, Team Aang successfully grounds the enemy's airships, derailing the invasion, while Fire Lord Ozai flies towards Aang to confront him once and for all. Round 1. Fire Lord Ozai confronts Aang and uses jet propulsion, using his flames to fly at high speeds through the air. He tried to intimidate Aang with his flames, but when it didn't scare him off, he attacked with a powerful ring of fire. Aang skillfully dodges and counterattacks by throwing an earth disc at him. Ozai then continues his relentless barrage, forcing Aang to be on the defensive and blocking his attacks with a combination of air, fire, and earthbending. Ozai doesn't let up and attacks with powerful flames, and Aang protects himself with earth armor, using rocks to cover his body. Furious, he attacks Aang with lightning, but redirects it into the sky. Aang couldn't bring himself to attack Ozai with it, and suffered a backlash from redirecting it. Seeing him hurting, Ozai attacks him with a powerful flame stream, which Aang quickly pulls up an earth wall to defend, but it isn't strong enough, and the flames push him off the cliff and into the water. Uh-oh. Round 2. Aang briefly lost consciousness and quickly used waterbending to cushion his fall. Seeing the scary Ozai charging him, Aang was forced to run away. When Ozai catches up to him, he retreats inside a rock ball. Ozai continues his attacks to force Aang to come out. He keeps attacking the ball of rock with everything he's got. When nothing seems to work, Ozai uses a charged attack by compressing his flames into a single point and infusing it with lightning. The force was so powerful that it peeled away at the layer of rock Aang covered himself in. The force pushes him against the wall, hitting him in the same spot that Azula attacked him with lightning, unlocking his chakras and forcing Aang into his avatar state. Round 3. Ozai recklessly approaches Aang, assuming he has already won. But Aang, in avatar state, pulls him by his beard. Ouch! Ozai quickly attacks him at point-blank range, but Aang redirects it into the air and blows him away with a powerful air blast. In avatar state, Aang creates an elemental sphere in which he can continuously attack his opponents while shielding himself from attacks directed at him. When Ozai tries to escape, Aang attacks him with compressed rock bullets to corner him. He then attacks Ozai with flaming missiles that chase after its target. Ozai fights back with his flaming missiles, but Aang nullifies it with water missiles and attacks Ozai with a powerful air gust. Their cat-and-mouse chase ends when Aang uses a water whip to catch him and lashes him to the ground. He then binds Ozai's hands into the ground while he prepares to attack him with the four-element strike after passing judgment on him. Damn. When it was about to hit him, Aang undid his binding and bang, we're right back to where the video started. That's all for now. Thanks for watching Epic Animated Encounters. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more action-packed showdowns.